It was 1987. We had just graduated from college. We had no prospects. I was a waiter, Sean was a caddy, and Kurt delivered pizzas. We got a van for $300 and also bought a tent and a video camera. In September, we hit the road with no plan whatsoever. We were like a rock band with no gigs, no groupies, and no ganj. Welcome to the Trip Tapes. We're on the road to nowhere. Come on inside.
Yeah, it was never something I was interested in and never even thought of doing, but yet we decided that we were going to camp our way around America.
But we were going to go whole hog camping. I'm not sure why. Save money. Compared to Kevin and Kurt, I had a lot of experience.
What we'll be sleeping in.
Is that a tent?
The four-manner. We haven't seen it yet. We're not going to put it up till we get up there in case something's missing.
Have you ever been camping before? Let me get a close. Oh.
Never.
Have you never been camping before?
Never once.
Sure looks like a nice tent though.
Sean, Kurt never. Kurt won one time. You've been camping though, I've heard.
Many a time.
We're expecting good weather. But this is it. Eureka. The best guy. Bill Johnson, head camper of Olympic team.
You like this because it's kind of cool. That it? Alright, you stick that on there.
Here, I'm going to show you something you never do.
Never do. Coming in for a close-up.
Right there. Look.
Oh yeah, Jay Lavelle taught us that.
One, never
step on the tent.
On the tent.
Alright, now what do you got? A little piece of elastic, right? That swings around that? Show me how that works, P. Out of the way, Chip.
See what you do. You bring it right around like that.
And so we tried to get the most money out of that tent as we possibly could. So we were in it almost every night. The tent was amazingly designed. I loved that tent. I also hated that tent.
I have this like recollection of almost like it was like this space capsule. And I always liked the way you had to kind of crouch down to get into it, almost like you were like entering into this cool little module.
Good work, man. Give yourselves a hand.
Sean?
Oh, back up a little bit, right in the sunlight. Back up this way. This way, towards Sean. This will be a great shot. And, oh, one more step. Towards Sean. Right there, big hug. Oh my goodness, hold on, hold it. Back towards Sean a bit.
Well, that tent was built for 3 people. Actually, I think it may have been built for 2 people, but we fit 3 people in it.
I feel like I always was in the middle. Everything I remember, I was in the middle. I don't like the middle. I don't like middle seats on planes. I don't like being in the middle anywhere. I'm not sure how I ended up in the middle. I should have been on the left is where I should have been. The order.
I don't know if I can't remember how, but we were very diligent, very rigid in that. Sean always slept the far right, Kurt in the middle, and I was closest to the exit. I think maybe the thought was if there was a fire, let's get Kevin out first. The other 2 could follow, but let's make sure Kevin and his air mattress get out, you know, safety first.
That's it. Coming out laughing. I didn't know it was on film. Oh, slow. Oh my goodness. Normally I sleep in the middle, but last night I made a bold move and took the outside over here.
Some say you bowed Carl Clegg out.
I don't think so. He had his flotation device in here, which is quickly losing air.
I know. Well, give that a couple pumps, man.
Yeah, give it a pump. Anyway.
How about Chip, man? Rumor has it Chip takes up a lot of room.
Get a close-up right here.
Look at that.
Extra space.
That's a foot and a half of good room he's wasted.
A foot and a half of room. Now, Here's what I use is this ridge thing right here for comfort. It's just beautiful.
Show us how thick that is.
It's about, a good ½ inch.
Nice. 30 a.m., 40 degrees last night. Chippa, how was that sleeping?
Now, 43.8. My head hurts. I couldn't get in the right position to get my arms stretched out.
Dude, I sprained my neck. I woke up, I swear to God, I was doing a handstand. My whole neck caved in. I was still stiff.
My neck, I got 2 torn rotator cuffs.
Pete, how was your sleep, man?
Beautiful.
2 torn. Pete was snoring again.
Feeling a lot.
This is beautiful. This thing Kurt got me for my headstand pro. I have a little trouble breathing in it.
It was brutal. Cold mornings were brutal. And we thought we were, chasing the warmth, but we were not doing a very good job. We ended up in the Northeast when it was, fall, late fall, even in North Carolina, right in the late fall. It was very, very cold. We would wake up and you ran to the van. This was another problem. And oftentimes Kevin would, I wouldn't say selfishly, but he would get up first for whatever reason, hop into the van and turn it on. And the van was very, very loud, so it would wake the rest of us up. So we had no choice but to get out of the tent and go into the van and try to warm up. So that was one thing that we would do often, is warm ourselves up in the van. There wasn't a lot of showering and bathing, especially when it was cold out. So that was, we would get in the van and we'd head out to our next adventure.
Dungeon of Horrors. Dungeon of Horrors. I had that freaking kerosene lamp over my body the whole night too, throwing out its noxious fumes.
I also remember that we had a hole in the tent. That happened early on. I think the lantern burned a hole in it, and so we had bugs coming in with a lot of frequency. And one evening, allegedly again, there was a hornet that bit someone. We never saw the bite mark. We never saw anything. We heard a lot of yelling and screaming about it, and woke us up all night.
Did you ever find the hornet? Was it a big, huge hornet?
It was like a mosquito, is what it was. But you would have thought it was, some enormous bug, dragonfly type.
Was there a lot of crying and screaming?
Always, always. There's some people whined a little bit more than the rest of us on that trip. Some of us were a little more stoic. Some of us could take it. Others, well, let's just say they let everyone know that they were upset, and then they'd jump in the van really early in the morning and wake the rest of us up.
The most about the tent, would you say?
I'd say it's kind of a tie, although probably Kevin.
You'll see a beast that I did battle with last night.
Kevin claims that he killed a hornet last night. Where is it, man?
Upper left.
Towards me?
No, right
Oh.
in my head.
Oh, that little thing?
Right in the corner.
That's what all this crying is about, that little thing right there.
Stick your hand up there, buddy. Fingers in my death.
What a wuss.
You were crying the way you were a puss. Oh, man.
Yeah, what was the first thing he told us? He goes, I wish it would have stung one of you two.
Yeah.
That's what he kept on saying all this morning. Selfless.
I'm not putting 10 away today.
Why not?
God, I'm injured.
I mean, I loved camping along the St. Lawrence Seaway up on the Gaspé Peninsula. I mean, there was so few houses around, and the houses that we found, we asked them, can we camp here right by this river? And it was gorgeous. I mean, we kept panning across with the camera. It was just a gorgeous scene, and we put our tent there right on the river, between the river and this house, and it was just, it was amazing. Great setting, great night. It was like sort of like what we were looking for when we left on the trip.
Probably the best night I remember at the tent. It was incredible. We were driving up the St. Lawrence Seaway all the way up in Canada, the Gaspé Peninsula, out in the middle of nowhere. down these dirt roads, and we just pulled up, and there were houses, and we just went up and knocked and asked the people, do you mind if we set our tent up in your front lawn? Because they're Canadians, they said no problem. And we set it up right at sundown. It was a gorgeous sunset, you know, amazing colors, right on the banks of the St. Lawrence Seaway, and we set it up and had an awesome night there. So that was probably the best night. In terms of my long-term camping, after finishing those 9 months, I've never set foot in a tent again.
What was I trying to put in, Laddie? You gotta bring. Oh, look at this guy. He set up first, but he didn't set up correctly. Slow and steady. Look at this guy. Slow and steady wins the race, baby. I got it. He just what, bigger dog? What?
All right, the light's blinking now.
Cut it. Cut it, for God's sakes, Jim. No. Be a cold one. This is gonna be a cold one. We're losing her. All right, cameraman. Let's go, cameraman.